You've seen those pitches on shows like Shark Tank, right? Someone walks out, gives their pitch, and in just a few seconds, everybody gets it. They're so clean, efficient, and just compelling. But here's the thing, it's not magic. Their success is actually rooted in a core psychological principle.
And that principle is called the cognitive fluency effect. Basically, research shows our brains are hardwired to see clarity as a sign of quality. So when something is super easy to understand, we don't just get it, we unconsciously feel like it's more valuable, and we trust the person saying it more. That little aha moment is your brain giving you a reward, and it's the secret sauce to a fantastic pitch.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll dig into why clarity is just so important. Then, we're going to walk through a proven storytelling structure step by step. We'll start with a problem, build connection with empathy, and establish authority. After that, we'll get into presenting your solution, offering proof, and painting a really compelling vision. And finally, we'll put it all together in a template you can use right away. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the why. The moment someone asks what you do, the clock starts ticking. You are either building trust or you're losing it. And it's not just about the words you use, but how incredibly clear you are when you say them.
And this is the bottom line, right here. If you start to ramble or get confusing, people don't just get lost. They make a subconscious leap and assume your idea, your product, well, it must not be very good. Clarity isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential if you want to be taken seriously.
So how do we actually get that clarity? Well, we shift from just spitting out information to inviting our customers into a story. Research on all kinds of pitches, including the ones on Shark Tank, shows that story-based pitches just plain work better. It's all about making your audience the hero of a story with you as their trusted guide.
And this is the 7-step formula we're going to use. It's a structure that works with the brain, not against it. It flows perfectly. We start by defining the problem, then we show empathy and establish our authority. From there, we introduce the solution, back it up with proof, share a powerful vision, and wrap it all up with a super clear call to action.
All right, let's break down those first 3 steps. This part is all about grabbing your listener's attention and laying a solid foundation of trust before you even whisper a word about your product.
You have to start with the problem, not your company's origin story, not your solution. Why? Because at its core, the human brain is a survival machine. It's wired to pay way more attention to problems and threats than to happy, positive messages. So when you lead with a problem they recognize, you immediately hook that survival instinct and make your message instantly relevant.
Okay, next up, you have to show empathy. And look, this isn't about being fluffy. It's a strategic move. We are fundamentally wired to trust people who seem to understand us. When you can put their frustration into words, you literally activate the social bonding parts of their brain. Their guard comes down, and they start to feel like you're on their team.
So once you've shown you get them, you've got to prove you can help them. That's authority. There's something called the expert halo effect, which just means people are way more likely to trust someone who shows they know what they're doing. Empathy plus competence, that's the magic formula. You're not just a friend, you're the guide who knows the way out of the woods.
So now that you've got their attention and they trust you, it's time for the second half of the pitch. This is where you introduce your solution, prove it works, paint a picture of what success looks like, and then guide them toward making a decision.
Now, when it's time to talk about your solution, simplicity is everything. Our brains are designed to conserve energy, so they naturally avoid complexity. Think about it. A simple, straight path from A to B is always going to be more appealing than some tangled, confusing mess. Your solution has to feel like that clear path, simple, direct, and obvious. After you've presented the solution, you've got to show them it works. This is your proof. But here's the key. You only talk about the features that directly fix the problem you mentioned at the beginning. This taps into something called the feature benefit memory effect. Remember how you opened a story loop by stating their problem? Well, now you close that loop by showing exactly how your product is the resolution.
Next, you cast the vision. You paint a picture of the end result. Fascinating research from Harvard shows that when we vividly imagine a future experience, our brain lights up in almost the same way as if we were actually living it. So when you describe their happily ever after, you're helping them mentally try on that better future, which makes them way more motivated to say yes to you.
Okay, and that brings us to the final crucial step, the call to action. And it has to be simple. The famous jam experiment is the perfect illustration of why. One day, a store set up a booth with 24 different jams. It attracted a big crowd, but only 3% of people actually bought any. The next day, they offered only 6 flavors. What happened? Sales skyrocketed to 30%. The lesson is crystal clear. Too many choices leads to no choice at all.
Your call to action needs to cut through all that noise and give people one simple path forward. You have to eliminate that decision fatigue by being incredibly direct. A really powerful way to phrase it is, if you're struggling with X, buying Y is the right decision. You're the authority, remember. By confidently guiding them, you make it so much easier for them to act.
Okay, we have walked through all the science, all the psychology, and all the steps. Now, let's put it all together into one simple fill-in-the-blank template that you can use to build your own winning pitch.
And here it is. This template walks you through everything we just talked about. It kicks off with the problem and why it's so frustrating. It establishes empathy and then positions your product as the clear solution. It connects a key feature to that beautiful vision of success and then ends with a direct, confident call to action. Seriously, take a moment, fill this in for your own idea, and you'll have a killer pitch ready to go.
So there you have it, a scientifically backed formula to communicate your value with clarity and power. The only question left is, who's the first person who needs to hear your story?